Number one is if you're going to cut out a piece of glass on a pattern, give yourself about a 1/2 inch all the way around it. A lot of times there's a little bit too much room on some of these that I've given it, but I'm going to use this glass and we're going to square it up and eliminate a lot of the glass that we don't really need around this pattern. And if you'll do this, I'm going to depress the head. Here we go. If you'll depress the head, give yourself a 1/2 inch all the way around, like that. Just like that. So this piece here we go. Remember, so when we're cutting a pattern, we want to be just against that black line. Not this side of it, not on it, but against it. So I'm going to start out here because I'm going to try and keep all of these points if I can. I'm depressing the head. So, and remember guys, this isn't, it's not a race from one end to the other. Here we go, ready? So when you're cutting a pattern, what you want to see is you want to have that black line showing. Just like that, there's your black line, it's there, okay? So let's move on to the next score. So our next score is going to be this piece right here. We're going to depress the head. Just like that. Okay, so now we started our run and it ran to right there. You can see it. I'm going to come back from the other direction and run it into itself. Now, I can't pull that out. You see me pulling it? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my running pliers upside down. You see they're upside down. That's right side up, upside down. We're going to just crack that one time. Very light, and that'll come right out, okay? So when you score something into something else, you can use your running pliers many different ways. And this is a good way to use them, is on these little spots like this. So this one will be a little bit tricky, and what I'm going to do in order to get these 2 points out is I'm going to do this. I'm going to go right to that tip. See that? I went right to that tip. Now we're going to break. All right, so we're going to eliminate that. And now we're going to dig in. Here we go. We're going to depress the head. So now this requires our grousers, and we're going to start this right here ever so slightly, and that's probably going to come back around. Hopefully I can keep that tip, but if I were pulling down on this side, I wouldn't be able to keep that tip. So I'm going to try and keep the tip. Hopefully I can just start the run. There it is. I've just started that run. Now I'm going to come back and we're going to run it back into itself. Now I've started it again. Now what do? It's running on both ends. Let's try it again. Let's run this back that way. There we go. Okay. So we've got that point right there. I'm not sure that I can keep all of that point, but y'all, just because it's you guys, I'm going to try. And I'm going to try really hard. So I'm going to do what's called a rainbow cut on this piece here. Okay, we're going to start that, and now we're going to take our grousers and we're going to jump in here like this, and you see how I'm holding everything. This transparent glass is great because you can see exactly what I'm doing. Okay, so now here we go. We're going to take this. Now, I'm probably going to lose one of these points. I hope I don't lose either one of them because that would make me feel better. So I'm going to try and we're going to pull down just a little bit right here. Okay, there's that. I'm going to take this out a little bit more. There we go. Actually, I got both points out. So now if I was doing this and putting this in copper foil, I have to clean this flare up because look at it. Hang on, I'll turn it sideways for you. See the flare on the point right there? That would have to be cleaned up, and your grinder takes care of that. It makes this everything perfectly 90 degrees. So as you take and do these scores, if you'll whittle some of this out as you do it, your chances of success, even on a score like this, are very high. This is a spectrum, y'all. This is a spectrum. And what I did is I just broke some 6x6s and brought them home. I lay out my running pliers here. And I'm also going to lay out my Lepinette grousers, my special grousers. I love these things right here. They're just really, they feel good in my hand, and I like them. I like them a lot. So we all know that spectrum glass cuts really, really easy. So let's just, this is my Silversmith. This is the 2000, y'all, right here. And that's just a nice. Now look at that. We started that run right there, just like that. See that? So, and you know, a good way. I'm just going to come in behind the run with my grousing pliers and pull down and away, and we'll go ahead and run that out. So, a great way to tell if you are putting too much pressure on your glass cutter is if the blood leaves your fingers and you start shaking like this. Okay. That tells me that you're doing what I call standing on the glass cutter. Not physically standing on it, but you're putting so much pressure on it, you might as well have your whole body on it. So here we go. I just want you to hear this. I don't need to depress the head. I already know how much pressure I need to cut the glass. So here, let's listen to this. It's very light, delicate, and then we'll just take this and we'll pop that. Just like that. Now, this is what I've always told y'all, is if you get the piece of glass that's too narrow here, then your running pliers aren't going to work. Sometimes you may have to go in a little bit deeper on it in order to get that jaw the way you need it, so that it will run out for you like that, okay? Just like that. So we've got to do something because we need to square this up. So those of you that are just learning how to use your square, the reason that I keep my middle finger against the edge of the glass cutter like this right there is so that when I'm using my square, I use that finger to push it against the square in order to keep everything in line and keep it in check. So that we'll take our running pliers. So if you'll go on with your running pliers, not quite all of the rubber that's on the jaw, but probably 3/4 of it, you'll find that you can just click that right off. And now we've squared this up. These pieces of glass will go in this month's box. And the next thing I'm going to share with y'all, and I have to because, I can't find the number on this glass, but does that remind you of Easter or what? Look at how beautiful pink that glass is. This glass right here is about $40 a square foot. And so that means this little piece of pink right here is $10. But because it's a spectrum, guess what? It just cuts so sweet, so easy. Let's see if we can just start the run and not finish it. There it is right there. Can you see that? There's your run right there. Starts right here. and goes right there. And now we can reach in with our grousers, and you get see the run right there. I'm gonna get behind it so I can show you that I'm behind it right there, just like that. And now I'm just gonna put my middle finger up against the grousing pliers, my thumb's out here, and all the weight is laying right here, right there against my index finger and between my thumb. I'll pull this down like this, and I'm using my hand, not the pliers. Ready? Down and away, down and away. And if you'll do that, a lot of things will happen. But if you're going to stand on your glass cutter, the one thing that is going to happen is your glass is not going to break correctly. So we're going to square this up and listen to it. Here we go. That is just the ultimate 8 pounds of pressure. And we have to square this back up. So here we go, just like this. And there it is. That's a beautiful pink piece of glass on a white piece of paper. And then this reminds me of Easter right here. You know why? Because I used to like to make Easter eggs that color. But this is a spectrum again too. This is a 376.1 because it's a transparent. So what we're going to do is we're just going to listen to this right here. Again, I don't have a cutter head that's depressing. Here we go. Just like that. Bring it down, bring it off, consistent. And remember, you know, like we talked about, look how pretty that is. Like we talked about last week, if you're standing up and you're cutting, and when you get to the edge of your score, I do want to say Happy Easter to everybody. If you find these videos helpful to you or any member of your family that does stained glass, please give us a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. Subscriptions are free, and we'd love to have you on board in our family. So give us a thumbs up, go ahead and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you know that we're coming to you live every Monday night at 7 p.m. along with new videos that come out sometimes daily. Thanks again. I'm Ed in the Glass Studio with Barb, and we're here for the ARTyRV channel.